Perfect Master Kabir once told one of his new disciples, he says, कबीर ये प्रेम का घर है नानी का घर नाही सर काटो भूई धरो तब ठहरो घर माही. A new man happened to come along there. He says, this is the house of love. This is not the house of your grandmother to come and stay here at all. You should be prepared to cut your throat and put it on the ground. Then you can claim yourself to come and sit in this house of love. That doesn't mean that Kabirji expected to cut. He expected that you should be prepared to sacrifice anything at any time for your true love. And for the gain of that, a spirituality which is a real spirituality. There are many shows in the world also. Now in India also there are persons and persons, I know. But anyone, however ignorant or enlightened he may be, if he has the sincerity of purpose, and if he is honest to himself, anything that he does helps him. But Meher Baba says, be careful. Be careful about your ego, and be careful not to get involved in the acrobatics of mind and body all the time and get stranded over there. One master has said it is good to be born in a church, but it is not good to die in a church because you have to rise higher. And the sum and substance of Meher Baba's message is that lead a simple, honest, practical life in the world. Spirituality is only connected with your heart. It is not to be made a demonstration of to anybody at all. Of course, if the time comes for one to give a talk or to explain things about Meher Baba, about God, about spirituality, by all means you are free to do so, but not by way of demonstrating things. So Meher Baba doesn't allow any dress which would become attractive. Remain an ordinary man. He does not allow to become conspicuous in the world and to be called upon and to gain respect from the people by putting on such dresses or by making yourself attractive. On the other hand, go on purifying your heart, be attached to me all the time, be superficially attached to the rest of the things in the world, and lead an ordinary, simple life. And that is the real spirituality which is needed today for the present circumstances. It doesn't mean that a man who gives up physically everything and goes and leads a secluded life, he doesn't earn anything. He earns every attempt towards any practice. He gets the result. But what is the result? We have to see. It is not only the result that we get, but we have to see what do I get. There is another thing. Baba does not want you to divert your attention from that. We are the beings, we are the souls that have traveled through the entire evolution, taking up different forms. And in the human form, we have gone through millions of births and deaths. And all the impressions are there hanging on our head, to be disposed of, to be dissolved, to be done away with, to be destroyed. Now what I do, I take a spiritual life upon myself and accept a path of some yoga or some meditation or some. It is quite all right. And I become absolutely regardless of all that burden of liability I have got on my head. And supposing that burden is worth $10 million, and I go on taking a beautiful job of my practice and go on earning, and I earn $1 million, and I am very happy I have earned so much. You should be happy, undoubtedly. But don't forget that you have to pay a debt of $10 million here. So Meher Baba says, this earning, what you call an earning, is really not right for you at all. You have to pay attention to that liability, you have to dispose of that liability, and do such acts by which you will be able to wash out these impressions, these samskaras, these effects of the commissions and omissions of life that you have done and performed through millions of births and deaths. So be practical. Not that you should not do this at all, but you should not become unmindful of that and just live in a fool's paradise that I am spiritually so high and I have raised myself up. There is another thing Baba has explained about yoga. He says, a man may have a lot of experiences, but these experiences are not lasting at all, and sometimes they are harmful, they are unhelpful. And man is not on his own, unaided by the Master, able to snatch himself out, uproot himself from the physical consciousness. He is embedded in it, entrenched in it all the time. And the experiences that he gets it through his physical consciousness of the subtle worlds. And that is not real spirituality. You have to see the subtle world through the subtle senses. But in this practice, we see the subtle world through physical sense. It's a very long explanation. I do not want you to get lost in it. It's something like a great maze. But for us, suffice to say that Meher Baba gives a great, great, great importance to the love of God, to the love of the Master. And through love, you are able to get over anything and everything. Is it not for your love that you bear all the discomforts of your life, for the love of your child, or for the love of your wife, for the love of your husband, for the love of your father or mother, or at long last, yourself? It is that love which goads you all the time to take up all the hardships of life, earn money, for the maintenance of whom you love most. Or if there are none, you love yourself. For the love of you alone you do it. You see. So it is a love at the back of anything. So why not go to the core of it all? Why try to hang on to the branches or the fruit of a tree? Take the root of the tree, and you get the entire tree. You have not to fumble about every leaf, every fruit, every branch of a tree at all. Many lifetimes will not be enough. And Meher Baba says, you come and dedicate your. Krishna says the same thing in the Gita. Christ says the same thing. Hafiz, the perfect master of Iran, says the same thing. Hafiz to bero bandagi hai pira mugha kun. This is Persian, I shall explain to you. Hafiz to bero bandagi hai pira mugha kun. Bardamane u dast zano az hama buksel. He says, lay your hand on his daman, on his skirt, catch hold of him, and leave the rest alone. Don't bother about it. But Meher Baba says, you have not to, in these times you have not to live physically, you have to become mentally detached. The great perfect master of Maharashtra, India, Tukaram, he says, Sadguru vachuni sapade na soya dharavete paye adi adi. This is another language, Marathi. That was Persian. And before that was Urdu. Dharavete paye adi adi. There is no way out. Anything and everything that you do, excepting catch hold of the master. But he must be a master. There are masters and masters. There are many blind masters. And if you follow a blind master, the blind leading the blind both fall in a ditch. So that should not be the case. And again, the concept of avatar is so great that I shall try to explain to you in a few words. God as God is not man. That means God is only God conscious, he is not man conscious. I will tell you why. Baba had explained to us. The entire world offers prayers. Baba said this whole world is offering prayer to whom? To God. God is oblivious of this. But same God in the form of the avatar has to take cognizance of the prayers and pay them back in the form of merit or whatever it is for their good. So the avatar is to do everything. Avatar activizes God's powers. God as God is not man. That means God is God conscious, he is not man conscious. And same God as man. Like you and we are all God, but we have got human forms. We are in a state of ignorance. We are not in a state of knowledge. But we are essentially God. But we are not conscious that we are God. So God as man is man conscious, he is not God conscious. He is only the avatar who is God and man conscious at one and the same time. That is his spiritual status. Who, and what is his work? Who brings down God to become man and raises up man to become God. That is his entire work. Very briefly said. It is not as easy to understand. Of course, if you have read Baba's books, you should. If you haven't, you should go through them all And then you'll come to know what exactly the meaning of this is. Everything is done by Him. Him means everything is done by God. But God in the form of the avatar. That is His status. And at all times, not in one birth, two births, three births, all the saints of the world, when they become the perfect masters, as we call the Sadguru, and they drop off the body, they are completely disconnected with illusion. They do not come back in this form at all. But during the lifetime, they do a lot of work. They help the humanity in a spiritual way, drop their body, and they go and merge themselves into Godhead. The saints, and the great yogis, until they become perfect masters, they become God realized in the human form, they go on reincarnating. But once they become God realized in the human form, they do not come back to this earth at all. It is only the avatar. Once between 700 and 1400 years, history has proved it, comes over and over again at different places, in the different dress, in the different bodies, but he is the self-same avatar at all times. This is the concept of the avatarhood. And I do not think there is any other concept, even confining ourselves to the concept of God. Once I was asked a question, what is the difference between you draw between God and the avatar? I said, avatar is more comprehensive than God. And how? I said, God is only God conscious. But avatar is God conscious and man conscious. God conscious and illusion conscious at one and the same time. So he's got one hand here and another hand there, and he's in between all the time. And it's a very difficult, it's a position of a great suffering. That's why all the avatars at their own times had to undertake a great suffering for the sake of humanity. There is not the avatar we know of. History has told us he has not suffered at all. I ask questions to Baba. If you are the avatar, if they were the avatar, why should every time they have to come and do and suffer? He says it is our own law. Unless we suffer, we are not in a position to help the humanity in the state of ignorance. That was the answer I get. I mean, the secrets are alone known to him, but this is the position of the avatarhood, in which, in the small booklet, he says, I am the highest of the high. If I am anything, I am the highest of the high or nothing at all. Now, it is all right, I talk and you hear, but I must be convinced about this. No? Unless I am convinced, who is Meher Baba? Nothing to me at all. And who may be another? Nothing at all. I have to be convinced, but I must give myself a chance to be convinced. How shall I be convinced unless I open my heart, I open my eyes, my mind, I open my eyes, I open my ears and try to know things and compare and understand and come to a conclusion? I will never give myself a chance at all. If I do not give myself a chance at all, then I shall say there is no sunshine at all. Meher Baba goes outside. There is a man who sits in the room, closes his doors and windows and all, and he shouts out all the time, there is darkness. Who is this Meher Baba is talking about all light and sunlight? It's having darkness, complete darkness. So Meher Baba says, you come out, open the little window and see. No, that I am not going to do that. You give me the light here, otherwise there is no light. I won't accept that there is a light anywhere. So Meher Baba listens for a long time and comes and just splits up the door. And the streak of light comes in. His eyes open. Oh, so much of light. It was all the time there. Then he comes out. So such persons are very difficult. I would not mind any man who criticizes, even adversely criticizes. For the matter of arguments, he comes and aches my heads and brain out. But that man who locks himself up like this and says, I am right and the whole world is wrong, is very impossible. It's an untenable situation we can't meet with. So that is that. We have to open ourselves to know things, or else how we shall we ever know? Or we shall become men of lost opportunities. In my own life of nearly 47 years with Meher Baba, I have seen persons who had come 30 years before, they did not bother. Who is Meher Baba? Let us go away. Then he sees, after 30 years, 30 persons have come from the west, 10,000 miles. Oh, there must be something in Meher Baba. How have they come? 10,000 miles away. I am here so close by. I never looked at him at all. I never tried to open myself at all. Now let me go. At least for the having seen these persons having come 10,000 miles distant. And the Westerners. So there must be something in Meher Baba. Let me go. Then the man comes and falls at his feet. These are I have seen before and he says, I am a man of lost opportunity. 30 precious years of my life were lost. I said, it is never too late. Take cheer. Take cheer in your heart and balance in your head and go forward. I said, you do not bother about it. And then he goes peacefully well. And he's become a very ardent lover of Meher Baba. And there is no initiation. You do these things, you put on this robe, you put on... Meher Baba he says, I have not come to establish any new religion at all. I have come to revitalize all religions. And he wants everyone to remain in his own religion. All religions are the same. They bear out the same truth. One God exists at the back of the religion. If Muslims say that the Christians are heathens and the Christians say that the Hindus are heathens, do you mean to say God is going to be as unjust as possible? If all the Christians are Christians and the rest of millions of Hindus are heathens, then how can that God be just at all? I would not call him God at all. He would be the most unjust being. He should be shunned. He should not be remembered at all, such a God. I am not prepared to accept such a God at all. But things go on in this world. And I tell you, this will not go on long. Nobody knew 2000 years ago, when a few fishermen were all around Christ, and there are millions of followers now. We can't take our mind back 2000 and see things as they are. We see Christianity as it stands before our eyes today and try to compare with how many followers Meher Baba has got. Meher Baba had many, many followers, more than Christ had in his own life. And it takes time. Avatar's work is slow, steady, sure, and it takes time. It may take a century or it may take 2 centuries, we do not know. Anything that is done in rush and hush never lasts. Anything that is done thoroughly takes time and lasts much longer. So this is the law prevalent everywhere. So it is up to us now to decide things for ourselves, whether we want it or not. I have seen persons who have said that we have become men of lost opportunities. And they have come back again. I would like persons to ask questions if they feel that something requires to be asked. I would not like them to hesitate at all. In the meantime, I can take a few sips of this.
Would you tell the story that you didn't tell a little while ago? The one that Jack said you should say later, would you say it now?
Jack has the habit of saying many things. Let person ask questions. I will tell that story later. Yes. He himself has given many reasons, sir. And if you ask me, I would only say that the reason is known to himself alone. He has said, one of the reasons was that all along humanity has made mockery of the teachings of the previous avatars. And no amount of talking has done any good to the world at all. So in this incarnation, I prefer to observe silence. This is one way of looking at it. There are others who say it's a great conservation of energy, but conservation of energy with Meher Baba doesn't matter. He has got no hold because he is the master of energy. What does conservation of energy mean for him? It is for a man who in a small way wants to conserve energy. He is the master of it all. And he has the entire stock of energy in his hand, in whatever shape it may be, because the energy is never lost. Even a physical particle in the world is never lost. It disintegrates and goes and merges into the different elements, but nothing is lost, even in the physical way. So there is no question of conservation of energy at all. And another thing he says, I am in everyone. Not that I see myself in everyone. Not that I feel myself in everyone. But I am in everyone. And I'm talking through every mouth. So I feel like observing silence in this body. As against that. Yes.
Could you say a few words about the quality of Baba's voice, or what do you remember?
1925, 22 to 25, I heard his voice for 3 years. How can I reproduce that voice? And what description can I give of that voice? I really do not know. Once we tried to do such a thing that different voices were to be produced. And I was to choose out of all those voices which really resembled Meher Baba's voice. But it could not come to pass at all. Breaking of the silence, he has explained that apart from the breaking of the silence, he has said quite a few things. He said quite a few things which in our own way did not come to pass. And we go on asking questions. Probably a man who has no faith in Meher Baba, but because he sees that he has not done what he has said, that he goes on thinking about him, Meher Baba in a way may have done like this, that it has given, it has raised a question for everyone to think over. And if they do not think of him in direct way, at least in this indirect way, he shall start thinking of him. That is one of the remote reasons. He has said, sir, after giving the declaration on the 30th of September 1954 in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra, India, he has given explanations, clarifications of the declaration. And in the declaration he said that I shall express the word of words, and quite a few things he said. But then in the explanation he said, I speak in 3 languages. I speak in my own language. When I speak in my own language, you do not understand anything. When I speak in your language, you understand it. When I speak in a mixed language, a part of which is mine and a part of which is yours, part that is mine, you do not understand. That part which belongs to you, you understand. So now where to catch hold of Meher Baba, I do not know. He is very slippery. We can't hold him down. And he used to say, I am slippery. He said, this is all God's work. It is inexplicable to you. It is not easy for you to understand. As the other day I said, Meher Baba the avatar and the rest of previous avatar, they did their inner work. People say, oh, where is Meher Baba? He is meditating. Meher Baba doesn't need any meditation at all. He is the object of meditation for the whole world. They do not know what is inner work. When he sits silent, when he sits in seclusion, they think that he is meditating. It is not meditation at all. It is the inner work. It is a vicarious suffering, as also is mentioned in the Bible. I have not read it, but they say so. It's a vicarious suffering for the whole world. And that we have seen with Meher Baba. So much and so on. And we try to coincide the time and the day when he suffered here, that some calamity was taking place in the other end of the world, and he was suffering here. खंजर चले किसी पे तड़पते हैं हम अमीर, सारे जहां का दर्द हमारे जिगर में है. He says, one man is killing another man, and I am suffering for no reason at all, because the entire suffering of the whole world resides in my heart. This is the poet in his inspiration, he wrote. But this was the state and the condition of Meher Baba we used to see with our own eyes. And many times I ask Baba, why don't you explain how you suffer and how you help internally others? He says it's not possible for you to understand at all. So to me, according to me, it is like this. He has that force and that power. That power is not in the material sense, not in the subtle sense, not in the mental sense. It is something beyond this. It is something beyond the mind. And I thought to myself, how does he work? Supposing there is an ocean, and many, many waves arise on the ocean. Some of the waves are to be converted, directed, thrown into some direction. And something is to be performed there. Some obstacle to be overcome. Some different colors, impure colors are there. They are to be dissolved. Something has to be done. And the waves have got to do. And the waves, you see, are the expressions of the power of the avatar. How could he explain how he does? How many waves are there? What is the dimension of the wave? How much does he rise? How much does he fall? How many small waves are formed when the big waves fall, and how many ripples are formed? It is not possible. It is beyond you to understand, and the way we work is absolutely different. It is not the force. It is not the mental force. It is not the energy through which work. They do work. They can work through the energy, through the mind force, through the mental world, through the subtle world, through the physical world, but they have something far too beyond them also. And that is where they do the real work, which we cannot understand. So we have to keep quiet. A child asks many things to the father. Father, why don't you come and sit with me and play the whole day? Why do you go to your office? Why do you drive a car? So what is the reply? The father is going to give the child won't understand at all. The child has his own point of view, has his own vision. He asks questions like this. So the distance between the child and the father is far too little. Then I as an ordinary man and Meher Baba is the avatar. So what questions can I ask him? When I ask him a question and he answers, I don't understand at all. When a real answer were to be given by the father to a child, the child will not understand. And sometimes the father will play with the child, ba, ta, ma, sa, like this, for quite a short while, and the child will take the delight that father is playing with me, but all the time he will not go on doing. So if I insist upon Meher Baba to talk in my language all the time, it's an imposition, he will not listen. He has his own language to speak, he speaks. Now coming to the point of the word of word that he was to express, Baba has left. Besides, he has said, in 3 languages, the explanation which he has given, we have to classify under which heading he said this. Apart from that, if he also leaves it to the interpretation of many persons, even those who are very close to him, and he allowed them their interpretation. So if you ask me, my interpretation, some may agree, even the closest of Meher Baba's disciple may agree and may not agree, but that doesn't make any difference in whatever it was. If you ask me, I shall say that Meher Baba has broken his silence. He has given the word of words to the world. The manifestation is going to take place. It has begun to take place. What is the word? He didn't say that by uttering the word that I was to give you a long talk that would be heard by the whole world. He did not say that. The word of word is the pointer to the force, to the power of love, the love which he worked for the entire world, the inner work which he performed. And that power he has released in the world and left his body. And that power is going all through like this now and working it out. And it will manifest in its own way into the lives of individual lives of men, into the lives of the community, into the lives of townspeople, into the lives of the whole state, country, nation, and the whole world. People ask me, how that manifestation is going to take place? I cannot say how it is going to take place. It will take its own course in its own way, but it will take time. It cannot be all done at once. And that is the manifestation, and we see that it is going on. Persons who have never read about Meher Baba. We do not want thousands and millions of persons just clapping hands, seeing the picture of Meher Baba, dropping some crocodile tears. They are going home, forget and sleep over it. We do not want that. I want a few men. If I address a meeting of 10,000, if I get one man out of it, that who is ready to take up, lead a life accordingly. And Baba is directly connected with your life. He is not connected with the theories which you have got in your head. It is not a reading or a theory at all. It is a play with your life. It is the surrendering of your own life to him. And he does not keep that life with himself. He gives it back to you. but in a different form altogether. You take your life and give it to him, hand over. Here is Meher Baba, is Meher. You take the charge of my life. He says, yes, I will do. Then what he does? He gives it back to you. Take it back. Look after this life. This is not your life. This is my life now.